Masters of Spin this morning, what can only be described as an epic fail by New South Wales Health. In what they must have thought was a comical post, we assume, Delta Goodrem's head has been used to personify the Delta variant.
The singer last night was naturally horrified by what she saw, posting on Instagram, "I have a huge problem with this. New South Wales Health, are you serious?" When we last checked, the post was still on the New South Wales Health Instagram site. We're joined now to discuss by advertising and marketing experts, Dee Madigan and also Matthew Bywater. Morning, guys.
Morning.
Dee, help me out here. I mean, there's a couple of things that, you know, is it either someone junior there who's gone and thought, I will do this, or has there been a strategy to do this which makes it even worse? And the third element I'd like to ask you about is why on earth is it not taken down urgently?
You would think there'd be probably two layers there should be before anything gets posted. You know, maybe a junior person doing it and someone to check it. The idea that you'd use a celebrity without calling that celebrity and saying, hey, do you mind? I mean, they're really at risk of defamation, I think. Because even though, I mean, I'm fully pro-vax and I'm sure Delta is, nonetheless, associating it with something, I mean, apart from how ugly the imagery looks, is not okay. Like, it's a really, really bad form, and they should take this down.
It's not a small organisation, is it, Mon? Like, I mean, this is New South Wales Health.
No, you just think that this must have been just a mistake or something that just got through somehow and there wasn't enough checks and balances here. This is New South Wales Health in the middle of a pandemic. This makes me worry about other things that might be posted as well.
Yeah, and you've got to be really careful about making light of a very serious matter. And this is one of the problems in life science. To be fair, life science is a very, very difficult thing to get the communication right because there's so many grey areas in life science. But to joke about something, make something light of a very serious matter, takes away from the seriousness of the message.
See, I don't mind treating something in a light-hearted way. I just think Delta's got the right to not be in it.
The poor thing, it's just awful.
It goes to the, you know, how much you can trust what is posted on that site, and a lot of the younger Australians or younger people in New South Wales will be relying on that for messaging. So if other things are wrong,
really bothers me.
That can have an issue too. I want to ask about another issue. Aggression is never okay. That was the message that a new campaign launched by New South Wales Health yesterday was pushing as well. Well, let's just have a quick look at it first.
When we walk into work, we want to do the best that we can for every patient that we see.
Every time we're dealing with aggression, we're not helping someone else.
We are here to help you. Aggression is never okay.
I thought this was pretty powerful. As outrageous it is that we need a campaign for this. Dee, what do you think?
Yeah, so I did the campaign No One Deserves a Serve about 2 years ago, which is kind of the same thing. Unfortunately, frontline workers and retail workers are the ones copying the brunt of it, and it's a message that we shouldn't have to tell people, but clearly we do. And people need to remember they're not responsible for whether you need to check in or show your certificate. Those are the rules, so don't get mad at people.
And yet people are, aren't they, Maddie? Like, you know, we're hearing it a lot, particularly retail workers are bearing the brunt of this frustration. But what can you do from a marketing perspective to try and change people's behaviour and minds? Does it actually translate into behaviour in the shops?
Actually, I think there's got to be a bigger picture here. Now, this pandemic's gone on now for almost 2 years. And we know we've got another year or maybe two to go through the different variants.
Don't say that.
And the reason why this is important is psychologically we know that the easiest tactics to use a carrot and stick are what we call extrinsic values. If you don't do this, you know, here's the big stick. If you do it, we're going to give you a carrot. Right? But the best way to make long-form change is intrinsic values, getting people to actually take the ownership on themselves. And this is something that we've not seen in any of the messaging. It's a longer-form game, and it's tough. It's not easy to do. But you've got to look at what are the major intrinsic values that drive people to make change.
I think this works, though, because what it does do is it says you might be angry at the whole system, but the person you're getting angry at is an actual person, and I think that's why this campaign works.
Look, the other element of that, if we're talking about that, it's kind of along the lines of personal responsibility, which is what we have definitely heard from the New South Wales government as they've got rid of masks. But what I'm seeing out on the streets is people actually being really antagonistic because some people are making a choice to wear them and some people are not making a choice to wear them.
Yeah. Well, you've got to take the righteousness out of it. I believe in masks, I believe in vaccination and so forth, right? But if you get to a certain point where you go, well, that's your choice, but this is my choice. and I'm going to do it. It's a bit like we went through with helmets for bikes for kids. Do you remember when I was growing up, you didn't have to wear a helmet,
Yeah.
and anyone wore a helmet was softer
But
and
it's
But
different
is the
issues.
difference,
Different
the difference
issues.
is if
Well, but
sorry.
but you've taken as it that became a law. But as more and more people do it now, we would never think of not wearing a helmet. You would never let your child ride a bike without a helmet, whether it's a law or not, because we've changed that intrinsically in our value system.
Well, I just mean if you don't wear a helmet, it's largely yourself that is at risk.
Yeah.
If you don't wear a mask, you're putting swathes of other people at risk.
And I was at Burwood Westfield yesterday, and I was so pleased to see about 90% of people still wearing masks. I still can't believe they've changed the rules at the moment.
I was at Chatswood yesterday. It was about half and half. I know. Yeah.
North Shore people.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Thank you both so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Appreciate it.